If you had told me before 2013 we would have had an alien invasion and our very own superhero, then 4 years later he would have returned from the dead and joined a real-life version of the Avengers, I would have thought you were crazy. Either way, the Justice League, as they call themselves, are not only a staple in mainstream culture, but have given people hope all over the world. They even inspired similar super teams like the Teen Titans. But unfortunately, the real world is crowded with cynical people. Even these guys got into a few controversies when they first started. This is Alexander Knox from the Daily Register. I'm here to count down the biggest Superman and Justice League rumors and controversies. I have nothing against the League itself. I'm not trying to paint them as villains. I'm just trying to address some past controversies. Cyborg watches everyone. Everybody in the Justice League has a secret identity. However, there are 3 members who claim they don't have one. Superman, Aquaman, and Cyborg. Then again, it can be hard to blend in when you show your face a lot, even when one of those 3 faces is half robot. But some try to dig up what secrets they have, and this includes a very deadly rumor. They claim that Cyborg can plug himself and hack into any computer system, all in a matter of seconds. If this is true, it's a good thing he's on our side. Many have stayed away from the internet, their phones, etc., in fear he could be watching them at any second. Not even the NSA could accomplish this level of surveillance. It's also believed that Cyborg could access every nuclear device in the world and end it all on a Tuesday morning if he feels like it. Cyborg claims that these rumors are false and that if he did have these powers, he would rarely use them and would never use nuclear weapons, and so far, he hasn't gone all Skynet on community. He didn't even use any nukes during the final fight with Darkseid. We'll get to that in a bit. When he finally told the truth, he disconnected himself from that power so people wouldn't feel paranoid about him. Many have started to trust him again and are no longer paranoid about their cell phones, though some believe he's lying and could still turn to the dark side. Thank God Cyborg has a heart, otherwise we would all have to face the wrath of an actual cyborg. Is Superman a reporter? Around the same time as the saga of Superman's death and return, there was another presumed dead, a Daily Planet reporter named Clark Kent. The guy was most well known for tackling many social issues at the Daily Planet, and has often done the sports catalog in case they needed him to. Kent died during Superman's fight with the creature Doomsday, and was the only casualty in that fight to the death. However, many conspiracy theorists believe that Kent didn't die in the battle, and that he was in fact Superman, because of how much Kent physically resembles the Man of Steel. Some sources claim they were twin brothers, but there haven't been any records of Kent having siblings. Daily Planet editor-in-chief Perry White claims that Kent isn't related to Superman and tells everyone, in quote, "Superman isn't as strict and clumsy as Kent, and besides, if he were Superman, he wouldn't be able to blend into a crowd in Times Square with a billboard of himself behind him, even with glasses." End quote. Kent was revealed to have been alive 2 days after Superman's return. He faked his death to get close to the corrupt science foundation known as Katniss, and exposed their war crimes. Many of Kent's co-workers questioned why he had to fake his death to get a story. It took him a while to get his job back, and his wife, Lois Lane, was the only one of his co-workers who hadn't stopped talking to him. But that didn't stop the conspiracy theories, including one that stated when he first met the Martian Manhunter right after the Justice League formed, Kent convinced the Martian to use his rumored shape-shifting power so he could turn himself into Kent and get Superman's old secret identity back, and not go crazy being a superhero all the time. Yes, this is all because some guy looked like Superman. Time-traveling Flash saved us from Superman? Yes, not even the Flash, the most hopeful member of the Justice League, is free of controversy. And no, I am not talking about the jokes about him getting a speeding ticket. A year ago, famous reporter Zack Snyder leaked information saying that the Flash doesn't just run fast, he can actually time travel as well by running fast. Or at least that's the simple explanation. Unlike other Justice League members, the Flash came clean the first time he was asked, and revealed one of the few instances where he had to use these abilities. Turns out, there existed a version of the Flash who came from a dark dystopian future, where the godlike being known as Darkseid got a hold of something called the anti-life equation, and used it to turn the entire Earth into mindless slaves. Superman himself was even affected by this terrible power, but only because Batman accidentally killed someone close to him. We don't know who it was, though that led to him being a ruthless tyrant right next to Darkseid, just destroying cities, small towns, and even isolated villages in cold blood. But the Flash of that timeline used his time travel ability to sacrifice himself, saving this mystery person close to Superman. But before that, he went back in time a little earlier to warn the Batman in case he fails. Despite this leading to Darkseid's defeat, this gave the Flash himself a very divisive reputation. This isn't surprising. After all, he did prevent a future where we're all mindless zombies, but at the same time, he is still controlling over people's destinies. And what if he becomes overly reliant on a power like this and creates an even worse future, or even destroy the universe itself? The Scarlet Speedster said he only uses time travel as a last resort, but that didn't help. So far, he hasn't done any more time travel, but let's hope he does it to prevent the next Darkseid. The Batman's Reign of Terror? Batman may have a vow never to kill any foe he faces, but there was a time where he broke that vow. After the death of his original partner Robin in the Black Zero event, the calamity that brought us Superman, the Batman started to get much more brutal and more intense. He wasn't putting criminals in Arkham anymore, he was putting them in the hospital. He even started putting guns on the Batmobile, despite him saying he'll never use a gun. He was beginning to resemble Dirty Harry more than Batman. Then one night, May claimed to have seen him burn the supercriminal Firefly into a crisp. While many claimed it was an accident, things changed the next night when he killed the former mayor of Gotham itself, Oswald Cobblepot, a reformed mob boss known as the Penguin. And since then, reports of criminal deaths in the hands of the Batman had increased. Crime lords, corrupt cops, and supervillains couldn't escape him. Not even simple muggers were saved from this new Batman, crafting a more extensive range of fear within the criminal underworld. Hell, many of his former rivals stayed in Arkham, fearing what could happen to one of them. There have been many debates about whether or not it's true and whether or not it's worse for him to abandon his lifelong code. His actions even seem to have inspired others to commit similar forms of vigilanteisms, like the mysterious figure called the Red Hood. Police Commissioner Gordon had made some controversial claims, saying that he doesn't believe Batman was doing these violent acts, and if he was, it won't be for long. He ended up being right in the end, but he still got a lot of controversy from those statements, along with a tidal wave of hate from the civilians who thought the Dark Knight had gone off the deep end. There were conspiracy theories about him being Batman himself, or him being in league with the mob. Many civilians were harassing him and his family, and no one in the GCPD trusted him anymore. He even thought of resigning at one point, and I don't blame him, especially after his own daughter got arrested after becoming the vigilante Batgirl, even though she wasn't trying to kill people and was quickly released. I know it's easy for people to be scared of Superman going bad, but he's not the only one it could happen to. Martian Manhunter watching us? The final battle between humanity and Darkseid was one of the most surreal events in history. We never expected to live another battle like this, and we sure as hell didn't expect it to be something out of a comic book movie. With Aquaman bringing together the people of Atlantis, Wonder Woman leading the Amazons, and Martian Manhunter leading intergalactic agencies like the Green Lanterns and the people of a planet called New Genesis. At the same time, Superman leads the armies of Earth from every country on the planet. The battle ends with Superman destroying the anti-life equation, and Batman sacrificing himself by grabbing a shard of the equation and stabbing it into Darkseid's head, killing them both. What does this have to do with Martian Manhunter? Well, we know very little about him. He claims to be thousands of years old, and as stated before, he helped unite the space side of the final battle against Darkseid. And since we know little about the guy, people tend to create sketchy rumors, like the idea he could read minds and shapeshift into anything. But not everyone wants or thinks it's a good idea to have shapeshifting powers. Like, yeah, he could gather confessions and evidence to help stop many crimes, but the Martian Manhunter could also topple governments by turning to a senator or prime minister, and give away secrets no one was meant to see. Hell, if someone had the Manhunter's powers, they could easily get away with a simple crime. In fact, some believe that the Martian Manhunter is in the same league as Darkseid, and that he plans to overthrow him and take his place. And before that, he started some of history's most significant wars and assassinations. Some believe he's impersonating US General Jonathan Swanwick so he could topple the US government. Seriously guys, when people say they kill for Oreos, they didn't mean literally. I hope I didn't step on anyone who believes in these heroes. Like all of us, they have indeed been through several controversies. One thing they never fail to do is inspire hope in others, even in our darkest hours or when it looks like the League has abandoned us. We will always have heroes to look up to and who will inspire us no matter what.